Welcome to Streetsmart Business TV. Now, guys, I can't wait to share this one with you because this is a real eye-opener. The thing that prompted me to put this episode together is quite simply I saw an amazing survey, and it's about the most precious asset that all of us have. Yes, you guessed it, time. Now, AC Nielsen did a survey recently. They studied all of the people in the Western world and they worked out how much time they're sitting in front of that bloody box for. Now have a guess. Is it 1 hour a day? 2 hours? 3 hours? 5.11 hours a day, ladies and gentlemen, sitting in front of a box watching other people having a life instead of ourselves. Guys, we're the ones that are alive. Don't just live life through a TV. Now, I know all of you are smarter than the average teddy bear or you wouldn't be watching this, so I'm sure that stat doesn't apply to you, but what I want you to do is really consider this. Are you watching a lot of TV? Are you reading newspapers? Are you listening to the news on the radio when you're going in the car, heading off to work? Just think about these unproductive things that are happening. Does listening to the news make your life any better? Does it? No, it makes you bloody depressed. How does this make our life any better, ladies and gentlemen? So how about rather than listen to all this negative stuff that's going on, you put in a CD, something educational that you can listen to and from work. You're probably driving at least 40 minutes a day going to and from work. So there's like at least an hour and a half for you, and you can be studying things. You can be studying sales, you can be studying marketing, you can be studying, look, our AV expert, he's studying German right now. So he listens to German classes in his car as he drives to and from work. Guys, just think about what you can do with this precious asset that we have and don't waste it. You see, I see people out there and they say, I ask them the question, I say, so what do you really want to be achieving in your life? And some of them say, well, I want to be rich. And I watch them over time, and sure enough, the reason they're not rich is because of their actions. See, whenever they get spare time, rather than being productive, a lot of them just waste that time. I see they're the first ones to race down to the pub and go and have beers with their mates and get blind that night and come back with a hangover. Okay, not that there's anything wrong with that, I'm not judging. But if you really want something bad enough, you've got to focus on it and head towards it. Other people say they want to spend time with their family, and yet when I watch them, as soon as they get the chance, they're out playing golf instead of going home and being with their wife or their children. And exercise, you know, some people say, well, I really want to be fit, and yet I see them cracking open a packet of chips and drinking a can of Coke. Guys, get serious about what you want in life. See, this time that we have on this planet, we don't know, it's finite. We cannot expand it no matter how good we are. So we've got to make sure we live it to the nth degree. So what I'd like all of you to do, cut out that bloody TV, cut out the newspaper, cut out the news, put a CD in your car and start to educate yourself so you can really have the great things that the world has to offer. Now, I did some rough calcs just to show you how easy it is to gain another 5 years of life out of your life. How good's that? What would a billionaire pay if you say, hey, I'm going to give you an extra 5 years of life? Well, I'm about to share it with you and it's for free. So, if you wake up just 2 hours earlier, you cut out TV, newspaper, all that low productive time. So that finds you 4 hours a day. Okay, just cutting out the newspaper, the radio and the TV, that'll be an extra 2. So 2 hours waking up early and 2 hours of cutting out some useless time, that's 4 hours a day. 4 hours a day over a week is 28 hours. Okay, 28 hours over a year is 1,456 hours. Okay, if you look over 30 years, because most of you have probably got at least 30 years up your sleeve, that's 43,680 hours, ladies and gentlemen. Or, put it another way, 5 years of extra life just by waking up 2 hours early. So you work it out, guys. How serious are you about getting what you want? If you had that extra time, if you had that extra 28 hours a week, seriously, what could you do with it? I want you to make the most of your life. Remember, it's the only one we know we got. So until next time, take care of yourself. Now, I've got Martin on the line. I'm going to get him to join us in a second and see if he might be able to help me answer some of these questions. So, guys, I just want all of you to welcome Martin to the call. How are you going, Martin?
Doing well. I'm very happy to be here with you.
So, Martin, I think one of the best ways to go about this, I've put a little bit of a mind map together because I've summarised pretty well all the questions into just, I think it came to about 8 or 10 that sort of signified all the questions that were out there. And I think we might just go through them one at a time, mate. And while we do that, We can get your thoughts on them. I'm sure you might have a slightly different take to me on some of them, and our viewers can then make up their own minds. So
is it okay if I show a screen and go through a couple of slides and show a few things that might help?
Yeah, we'd love that. Yep.
All right. So we'll say that a business has 1,000 customers, and they want to grow by 10%. In other words, they want to get 1,100 customers. So if they want to get to 1,100 customers, let's see if we can make this work now. And let's just say that they lose 20%. Now, most businesses lose somewhere between 18 and 22% of their customers every year because of attrition. That means some people die, some people move, some people leave to do business with a competitor. Some people have a problem with a product or a service, or maybe an employee, and they have a bad experience and they go somewhere else. Most businesses lose somewhere between 18 and 22% of their customers every year. So let's just say on average that our customer here loses 20% of their clients. So the number lost then is 200. Now if I were to ask you what kind of percentage increase would we have to have in order to get that to 10% increase, most people would say, well, we need to replace the 20% and then add the 10%, so it's 30%. Well, the answer is not right. What we need to do is we need to take a look at this, because we're not starting from a base of 1,000 customers anymore. We're starting from a base of 800 customers. So if we're starting from a base of 800 customers, we're going to need 300 customers in order to reach our goal, which is a 37.5% increase. Not 30%, it's a 37.5% increase. Now, most business owners don't understand that. They don't understand that in order to replace those lost customers, there's going to be a significant cost involved. So let me show you what I mean. Our conversion rate, let's just say that out of 10 people that come into our store, our office, our place of business, that we can close or sell 2 out of every 10. So now we have a 20% conversion rate. If we have a 20% conversion rate, that means we're going to need 1,500 new leads in order to generate those 300 customers. And you stop and think about it, that's an awful lot of leads. 1,500 leads to generate the 300 customers, because of 20% of the 1,500 is 300. So the question is, how much is it costing you to generate a lead? Most business owners don't know that. You've got to figure out how much does it cost to generate a lead, then how much does it cost to convert a lead into a sale or a buying customer. You add those two together, and that tells us what our customer acquisition cost is. Now, you have the tools. When you go through the training, you'll have the tools to show business owners this. See, this is just one simple thing that business owners don't understand. And because they don't understand it, it's costing them a ton of money. Let's just say that it costs them $10 to generate a lead. If it costs $10 to generate a lead, then we've got $15,000 in lead costs just to generate the 300 customers. Mm-hmm. Maybe we ought to look at something besides going out and trying to grow our business. How can we close the back door? How can we keep our customers, our good customers, from leaving us and going someplace else? You see, for $15,000 to generate that many leads, how many letters, how many emails, how many phone calls could you make to those 200 customers that are leaving? You can make a whole lot of calls to those people and keep them on the books, keep them satisfied. You know, it's said that your customers are very much like your spouse. Even if you don't tell your wife that you love her once in a while, somebody's going to come along and tell her that, and she's going to leave you, and that's going to cost you a lot of money. Your customers are the same way. You've got to tell them that you like them, that you care for them, that you appreciate them, that you love them, and you really appreciate their business. If you don't tell them that, somebody else will come along, a competitor, and they'll take that business away from you, and that's going to cost you a lot of money.
Alright guys, it's Q&A time again. Now we've got a question today. Who's it from, Michael? Alright, Christina Andanopoulos. I help frazzled business owners make more money, and I was just wondering, do you think interest rates will go up or down in Australia in the near future? And if so, what should I do? Well, Christina, look, here's the reality. I'm great in business. I'm a sales and marketing expert, and I'm a great strategist when it comes to business, but I'm not a financial expert, and I don't like talking off the top of my head. All I can say to you, to give you some advice, recently we had Harry Dent and John Thomas out here. I bought them out here at great expense, believe me. And the reality is, Harry Dent reckons that the bottom's going to fall out of the world and that the world's going to have serious challenges. And John reckons that the market's going to go sky high. So I hedged my bets. I actually don't own any property. Any money I have now is pretty well in cash in the safest places I can have it. And I actually trade John's recommendations. That way, if I do that, then I can't really get caught by any chaos that may happen. Now, no one has a crystal ball, Christina. All you can do is make an educated guess and base it on the facts. But apart from that, I can't really help you anymore. Alright guys, keep those questions coming and I'll see you next episode.